Hey family, welcome back to my channel, Create with Kendra. You are tuned into what I believe is going to be a blessing for you today. Today we'll be talking about shameful scars and what that means to a lot of us that deal with scars in our lives. All right, y'all, let's get into it. So recently I just went to a conference called The Real Conference where all of the BCMs, and BCM is a organization called the Black Campus Ministries. So Black Campus Ministries are organizations that are planted on different college campuses, and this was a regional conference where all the BCMs came together for a worship experience, and it was amazing. So during that time, the preacher, if you go to church, let me back up. If you go to church, you know this thing is called neighbor talk. So the preacher says, look at your neighbor and say, neighbor. And you look at your neighbor and you go, neighbor. And then you just share what is on your heart or what God is speaking in that moment. And the preacher instructed us to share with each other scars that we've had, whether if it was when we were kids jumping off the monkey bars, landing on the pavement, if we cut ourselves doing something, if we fell off. I don't know how kids be, you know how we used to do. So people are sharing their scars and what their scars really mean to them. And when it got to my turn, I didn't have any cool stories about scars that I could show people that was on me, but God reminded me in that moment of a scar that I actually didn't have, but a scar that I inflicted on somebody else. So growing up, I'm the youngest of three. I have two older sisters, so there's three girls. One day, my oldest sister and I were fighting, and it got so bad. I mean, I tell you, older siblings, y'all be trying to bully and punk us. We were fighting, and I tell you, my oldest sister, she was really giving it to me. She really was. And once she felt like I had enough, she walked off. And what you never do is walk off in a fight. I grabbed her by the back of her shirt, and we all shared a room at this time. So it's like you have a bed and you have a bunk bed. And so we were all jammed into this one room. So I grabbed her by the back of her shirt unexpectedly, and I swung her, not knowing where she was gonna go, but I swung her, and she hit the bed, the metal bar of the bunk bed, and busted her head open. She fell down flat, and when I rolled her over, you could see right in her forehead there was a gash that was open. And I thought two things. One, I killed my sister. Two, I'm about to get a whooping. But in that moment in which I thought I was defending myself, or in a moment where I thought I was really just getting her back, I inflicted pain and a wound on somebody and left her with a scar that she's going to have to live with for the rest of her life. Now you can think of your own scars and what they say. So ask yourself, what does my scar say about me? It says that you're resilient. It says that you are an overcomer, and whatever tried to take you out did not prosper. So I want you to remember what your scars do say about you. However, I am aware that it is not that easy to think of your scars in a positive light. There's something about having scars that brings about shame, whether if it's how you got the scars, who put them there, and that sometimes people do not understand or will respect you and your scars. And that's what the enemy will do. The enemy will take what you've been through and put shame on it. But I want you to remember that your scars are shameless. I want to remind you that if your friends, if your family, if your loved ones, and those that are close to you don't understand, your scars, there is somebody who understands them 100% of the time. And that's Jesus. And he actually thinks your scars are beautiful because he himself went through a process and was scarred during that process. I'm going to read Isaiah 53 verses 3 through 5 for us to get an understanding of God's word when it comes to being scarred and how Jesus dealt with being scarred himself. He is despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrow and acquainted with grief, and we hid as it were our faces from him. He was despised, and we esteemed him not. Surely have bore our griefs and carried our sorrows, yet we did not esteem him stricken, smitten of God, and afflicted. But he was wounded for our transgressions. He was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes we are healed. I can appreciate Jesus for doing what he did, because it was really hard for him to be scarred in the way that he was scarred for all of humanity. He walked the ways that we walked and experienced things that we experience in our everyday lives. Like the pain that we have and the pain that we face, he says, I understand you. That scar that you got, I got the same one. But just like the scars that you have, the scars that Jesus had didn't defeat him. When he died, he rose up with all power in his hands. He conquered death, hell, the grave, and now he reigns on the throne, sitting at the right hand of his Father. I just want to encourage you and your scars, because you have nothing to be ashamed about. The scars that you have, Jesus bare too. So if this video has ministered to you, or if you know someone that needs to hear this message, I want you to share it with them and share it with everybody that you know. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, you can subscribe right now. That way you'll have notifications on when my videos will be coming out. I'm going to try to post them every Friday at 12 o'clock so you all can have this kind of content, these kind of conversations, and I'm really excited about it. So until next time, beautiful people, be blessed.